Hi guys, and welcome to Escape with Watch Reviews. My name is Steve, and today we're going to be reviewing the Cadisen C8209G. This is a new release from Cadisen. I was sent to this watch for free from the Cadisen official account, not the Cadisen official store, I don't think. I cannot find this model on the official store, but the official account reached out to me, asked me if I wanted this watch. Actually, they didn't. They just told me they were sending it to me, and they didn't even ask me to review it. They just wanted to send this as a gift. Obviously, I'm going to review it because it's a new release and it's actually pretty good. But I will be giving this watch away. So if you guys are interested in winning this watch, leave a comment down below. It's open to everyone. So on January 23rd, I will be pulling a random name and giving this watch to them. So be sure to comment down below. Make sure it's a top level comment, not any comments below somebody else. And yeah, you can win this watch. It's a nice watch. I just have so many damn watches I can't do it. And I'm coming right up on 8,000. So I figured I would give this away to you guys and let one of you guys enjoy it. But if you guys don't want to play the waiting game, or if you didn't win the watch, I'll be leaving a link down below. I'm going to update that once the Cadisen official account gets back to me with the proper links. And but yeah, that is the link down below. It'll be an affiliate link if it's an AliExpress, and it'll be linked right to the official store if they want me to use that one. So yeah, just head down there. That'll be where the link is. But let's get into this review. So the watch retails for $76 US, and that's before any discounts or sales or coupons. I am seeing it on AliExpress with a $5 coupon already, and I know that they're going to participate in sales and stuff like that. So even at $76, I think this is really a great price. So the watch is available in 3 different colorways. As you can see here, they have gray, white, and blue, and I think they all look really good. I do like this white dial though. I think it's the cleanest looking of the bunch, but the other ones I think actually look pretty good too. The watch case and bracelet are made of stainless steel. They don't specify that it's 316L, but I'm pretty sure it is. I have no reason to doubt that it's not. It has a sapphire crystal, a screw-down crown, screw-down case back, 200 meters of claimed water resistance, and it is powered by the Seiko NH35 automatic movement. So this is an homage watch. It's not homaging a Rolex or Omega, so it is something a little bit different from the Chinese OEM. I feel like Cadisen has always offered really good value in their watches, so let's dig in and see if it's any different for this model. Before we do a quick wrist check today. Wearing my Sea Stern Ocean Star. Again, this thing is the same as the Suggest, and it is still my favorite homage of this style of watch, and it's great. Go check out the review. All right, let's get to the dimensions. Got a diameter of about 41 millimeters. Got a case thickness of 12.6. Got 20 millimeter lug width. Lug to lug of 47.5. With an overall length of 48.2. And sized up for my 7.5 inch wrist. It weighs 152 grams. So I think it's a really good size. It's 41 millimeters. Kind of odd to measure this thing just because it's got an octagonal bezel and it kind of has these little protruding little things there. So I feel like it doesn't wear like a 41 millimeter, more closer to 40 millimeters in my opinion. And then really short lug to lug, under 48 millimeters. Female end links, pretty good curvature to the case as well. So yeah, I think it wears great. So I'm gonna go outside right now and throw it on my wrist for you. And here we are on my 7.5 inch wrist, and I think it wears great. It's got a short enough lug to lug. It's got a little bit of curve down there as well, so it hugs the wrist pretty nicely. And the bracelet is actually pretty decent as well. And yeah, I think it just looks good. You can see all the light play off of that bezel. I think it looks pretty cool. The little squares on there, really nice reflections. Yeah, I like it a lot. I like it. Yeah, I like it a lot. It looks good. And here we are out in some direct sunlight, having a little bit of trouble focusing, but yeah, I think it looks really good. Plenty of AR coating. You got nice kind of charcoal hands and indices, so I mean it never gets lost. It's easy to tell the time on it. I think all the sparkle looks good. The brushing looks good as well, and yeah, overall I'm pretty happy with how this thing looks. But I'm gonna go throw this on some straps, and we'll get back to this review. And here we are on a leather strap from Vario. Absolutely love this strap combo. I think that looks great. Kind of that orange with the brown. I think it looks really good. What do you guys think about that? Yeah, really happy with that look. And here we are on a black Tropic strap. And again, I think that looks really good. You kind of got those dark details in the dial. It just kind of makes them pop out a little bit. I think it looks great. What do you guys think about that? Yeah, here we are on a Barton silicone strap. This is just their cheap one. I think it looks really good. Matches that second hand and the text on the dial. Looks good. I'm gonna mention this just briefly. The distance between the lug holes and the case, it's pretty thin. So this one here, it just barely clears it, and this is a pretty thin strap. So I didn't have any problems with the Vario strap, but if you have a thicker leather strap, you might have some issues with it. So just wanted to mention that. But I think that does look really good. And here we are on an elastic strap, gray with the orange stripe down the middle. I think that looks pretty good. There's one layer underneath the watch there. It still sits pretty nice in my opinion. What do you guys think? And lastly, we've got a ribbed nylon strap. Just some simple black. I think it looks good. There's 2 layers underneath the watch there, sitting up a little high. This is not, this is pretty loose. But still, I feel like it's pretty comfortable, and I think it looks good. All right, let's go back inside and let's get back to this review. All right, so let's talk about the case finishing on this thing. And I think Cadisen does a really good job with their finishing. I don't know if it's, I think it might just be me. I like the coarseness of the brushing they use, and I always have. But I do think they do a really good job on it. It's a vertical brushing on the top of the lugs there. You can see that continues to the lug tips. Flipping it over to the case side here, you got this kind of flat spot there. I think it looks pretty good. And again, nice curvature to it. Really nice satinized brushing. Very happy with it. I think it looks excellent. Flipping it over to the crown side here, you have a polished signed Cadisen crown. The crown is a little bit square. I think if they rounded this tip off just a little bit, it would feel a little bit better in the hand. Right now, it's a little bit sharp on that, but plenty of grip though, so no real issues with that. And that's just nitpicking really. But I think the case is done really nicely. That brushing, it's excellent. I have no problems with that at all. Flipping it over to the case back here, you have polishing on the bottom side of the case. Then you've got a brushed case back itself, screw down case back, simple notches to get a tool in there. And that is a really cool design. Kind of got that scuba diver helmet, old school, with kind of a honeycomb pattern. It looks great. It's nice and soft. No sharp edges on this one. It's a very comfortable watch to wear. I've got no problems with it at all. And I think it looks really cool. Very, very cool. All right, so let's talk about the bezel on this thing. And the bezel is really unusual. It's got lots of different finishings on it. You've got a radial brushing where all the numerals are. And then you kind of have these polished little blocks here. Everywhere else, you have an inset lume pip. It's done okay. No issues with that really. I mean, it gets a little bit messy, and you can see here, show you some quality control issues here. So you see that little mark there, and then this little mark here. Those were actually luminous material. So they kind of got left on the case. So that's a quality control issue there. I tried getting it off without using some, solvent or something like that. I wasn't able to get it off. So just something to be aware of. I don't expect all watches to be like that. That's just how mine came in. I think the brushing on the bezel, not quite as nice as the case, but still pretty decent. No major issues with it, in my opinion. You kind of have on this top facet here, it's polished all the way around. And then on the bottom edge of it, you have a mixture of brushing there and then polishing and brushing and polishing. So lots of different finishes going on the bezel. I think it looks really cool. Those little squares, they catch the light really nicely. I think they look pretty cool. And I think in general, the design of this bezel, it's very unusual, and I think it looks pretty good though. Talking about the bezel action, it's a very light bezel, pretty easy to turn. You can see there's just a teeny tiny bit of play in it there. It's 120 click unidirectional. I'll let you listen to the clicks here. So very light and tinny, kind of hollow sounding. Definitely not the most solid sounding bezel. Action is pretty good, even resistance all the way around, which is nice. It could use a little bit more resistance though. I've definitely knocked this on accident a couple times. The grip is actually okay. It doesn't have the scalloping all the way around, and it's kind of got the flat sides, but these little notches here, they do give some grip there. So I haven't had any issue turning this thing, especially because the resistance is so low. It's an okay bezel. It's not my favorite bezel, but it's definitely not bad. And there's no real play in it as far as up and down or bounce or anything like that. But just tiny bit of wobble in it right there. But that's pretty much it. And the alignment is just ever so slightly off. So that's a little bit disappointing, but it hasn't been bad enough to really annoy me. All right, let's talk about the crystal. First test it for sapphire. And you can see there, positive for sapphire. And it's a really nice crystal. It's very plain, very simple. It doesn't protrude hardly at all from the bezel, as you can see there. Perfectly flat, but lots of AR coating. So, I mean, it's nice and legible, that dial is. It's great. I've got no problems with it. It seems to be clear anti-reflective coating, and it's really good. Very happy with that. All right, let's get close and talk about this dial. And the dial is really nicely done. Very happy with it. You can see you have these rhombic shaped indices at all the hour markers, kind of split at the 12, 3, 6, and 9. And I think they look really good. They're kind of a dark gunmetal. They are polished, as you can see there, so they do shine a little bit, but they're dark gunmetal, so they really stand out against the white background here. Really happy with that. Black printed minute track around the outside, cleanly done. I think they could have done without the sub-second markings, but not a big deal to me. You have the Japan movement text down here at the 12 o'clock, automatic in orange, and then your Cadisen logo at the 12 o'clock position. And I think it all looks really good, very nicely done. You got this really cool horizontal pattern to the dial. I think it gives some nice interest to it. This white, it's definitely not a kind of a stark white dial. It kind of has a silvery, almost a silvery sparkly texture to it. It's very, very, very subtle, but it is there. And yeah, it's just definitely not a pure white, which is fine. I think it looks really good. Very happy with it. And yeah, I think it looks good. So you can see the hands, they are also kind of split. The inner portion of the hands are a blue lume. The outer portion is a green color lume. And you can see there's a difference in the color. Unusual choice from Cadisen. I really don't think it looks bad. You know, I think the handset size is really nice. The second hand reaches right out to the minute track there. Minute hand, same thing. Hour hand, maybe just a little small, but it doesn't look bad in my opinion. You do have a date window chamfered there at the 3 o'clock position with a truncated little indice there. Everything is spot on as far as alignment goes. It looks really good. Very happy with the dial on this thing. Yeah, I like it. The lume on this thing, I'm going to pop up a lume shot right now. Here you can see it against a couple other watches in the collection. And you can also see that bi-colored lume. You can see the tips of the hands, they fade pretty quickly, which is a little bit disappointing. The dial does hang on okay. Definitely not one of the best watches in the collection, but it's a solid 5 out of 10, I'd say. And yeah, it's okay. It's definitely could be better, but not bad. All right, so let's talk about the movement in this thing. And I'm going to pop up the time grapher shot right here. And obviously, I mean, you just can't get much better than this in a watch at 75 bucks. Mine's running almost dead on. Very happy with the accuracy of this thing. It's the Seiko NH35, so 21,600 beats per hour. 6 ticks of the second hand every second. It hacks, it hand winds, it does everything you need it to do. Bidirectional winding. So that rotor doesn't spin around and make a lot of noise. It's quiet, it's reliable, it's smooth hand winding. It's great. I've got no problems with it. The movement is operated by this 3 o'clock screw down crown there. Again, signed nicely, fully polished. Maybe they should do a brushing on that. I don't know. But you know, it's nice and grippy crown there. Maybe a little bit sharp, but not bad at all. First position, hand winds it, nice and smooth. Second position is your date changeovers. And again, that is nicely centered in that window there. Third position, hacks the movement. And this is where you set your time. Everything acts as it should. Nice solid crown there. I've got no problems with that. The screw in and screw out action of that crown, nice and smooth. Very happy with the movement, very happy with the crown. I've got no issues with it. Now let's talk about the bracelet. So the bracelet on this thing is pretty nice. It is 20 millimeters. It tapers down to 18 millimeters at the clasp. You have brushing on the top surfaces here, polishing on the sides. You have push pins for sizing. I had no problem sizing this thing up. It's perfectly acceptable. You got solid female end links, solid links in the bracelet. You have a milled clasp here. It's just a pressed outer shell, nice and short. It does have the Cadisen logo on there, brushed on the top, polished on the sides. No real sharp edges or anything. Very happy with it. You can see I've got some residue on the inside here that I just haven't taken the time to take it off. But yeah, the inside, nice tight tolerances there, nice tight tolerances up here as well. So this thing opens and closes just fine. 2 levels of micro adjust. That's one of my only complaints really. I wasn't able to get a perfect fit on this one. It's either just a little bit too loose or a little bit too tight. So I'd like to see one more micro adjust on this thing. Other than that though, I'm overall pretty happy with the bracelet on this thing. It's got some flex to it. It definitely has some flex in this first link here. as you can see there. And that's kind of where it does rattle just a little bit, but it's really not bad. This bottom edge of the bracelet, nicely rounded off. It's a very comfortable bracelet. I think it looks good on the bracelet. I also think it looks good on straps as well. Yeah, I'm not really sure what else to say. It's overall a really nice package. So there you go, guys. That is the Cadisen C8209G, a new release from Cadisen. Again, I'll be leaving an updated link down below for wherever they tell me to link it. And yeah, I think it's great. There's not much to complain about. Obviously, the Lume isn't the best, and the bezel, it's okay. It's not bad, but it just needs to be a little bit tighter, I think, and it would kind of fix a lot of the issues I have with the bezel, which really there's not many issues with it. Just a little bit of looseness there, and then the kind of tinny sounding and the light action. But it's still not a bad bezel at all. Really accurate movement, cool crystal. I mean, the crystal kind of just disappears in certain lighting, so really happy with the crystal. I think the case back looks awesome. The bracelet is good. There's not much negative to say about this watch. I really like it. It's probably my favorite release from Cadisen that I've had in the past, 2 or 3 watches from them. So yeah, I think they're heading in the right direction. I like what I'm seeing. Cadisen, you need to keep doing what you're doing. If you guys are interested in this watch, again, I'll be leaving the link down below. And if you want to win this watch, leave a comment down below. I will pick it on the 23rd. I believe that's what I said. And I will reply to your comment down below. So be sure to keep your notifications on. I've missed a couple people. Definitely watch out for the spammers. I will write from my official account, and I will get your email address, and we can go from there. Actually, I will just drop my email address right here on screen. And that is where I will be sending you a message to email me at. So yeah, just keep that in mind. I won't ask for any money, no PayPal, no nothing. So don't send anyone any money. I'm just going to send this out to you guys, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. I think that's about it for me, though. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.